Hi, this is Ali. This is going to be my kind of viewpoint kind of thing of the Zack Snyder Justice League movie. To start out with, I don't know if I'm going to be calling the other version the Whedon cut or the theatrical cut. I'm going to try to stay theatrical because there's a lot of can of worms with that. And it's not because, I just don't want to have my viewpoint out there. This is not a complete review going over every little detail. It is not a Easter egg video, though there are moments that I will be talking about that are spoiler related. So I'm just gonna say this that if you have not seen the Snyder cut or even the theatrical cut, well, with the latter, why? Unless you unless it was because Zack Snyder wasn't directing that version. I understand that part, but why? At least get your knowledge of what's good. To compare and contrast. But yeah, if you want to go see videos like go through all the Easter eggs, all the moments, kind of goes even reviews the movie, which is a very long movie. We took we really took just one break, if I'm being honest, but there was I took one break. There's only one other small break for one other person, but that was for different reasons. But yeah, we only took one real break, and it was only I don't even know, probably 10 minutes. So, and if I'm being honest, it feels like more than 4 hours, and I don't mean 4 hours or whatever minutes. I mean, it felt like 5 hours, and we only took 10, 15-ish minutes to take a break, so it really wasn't that long of a break for it to feel a lot longer. And I thought Batman vs. Superman was long. But the thing is, unlike that one, this one is not bad. I mean, Batman vs. Superman problem was that it didn't know how to distribute their action versus dialogue scenes. It just seemed like it wasn't equal enough in certain parts. Some parts were okay. But anyway, I'm gonna go. Like I said, if you have not seen the Snyder Cut, stop watching this video. I have the word spoilers in the title, so why are you watching it to begin with? Unless you really can't watch it and you just want to watch reviews. To which, again, I say go watch Boba Talks and Emergency Awesome. They are much better at it once their videos goes up. They are not up. Well, Emergency's not up, as far as I know. It's gonna be and like I said, these are long movies, so it might be a while. This is just my overall review. It's not going into nitty gritty, and then I kind of will be talking about a couple small things at the end with this of what, future of DC movies, as well as and one question. And honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I only have one critique for this movie, and it's not that it's long. The long part I didn't mind, if I'm being honest. So starting out with the theatrical cuts, the scene at the very end with Doomsday, and I actually had to look it up. This is version 2 of this video. I really didn't get that far before I realized I had to redo it. That I don't think this was a part of it. I think it was a little addition. Again, I'm going to be going over a couple little interesting factoids, and I know IMDb is not the best place, but it's not the worst place to get your little trivia notions. So, besides journal articles. And videos talking about the movie, but if you gain those factoids right away, though. Because one factoid I'm going to say at the very end is, wow. Amazing that Zack Snyder did this because of how well the movie turned out. And going forward, it's what would happen, or what could happen, what couldn't happen, kind of situation. But yeah, so apparently Superman's death scream woke up the mother boxes. Now, in the theatrical cut, the mother boxes were this person originally. They still could be in the Snyder cut, but and Steppenwolf was their son originally. It's what? I hate saying it, but the theatrical cut made no sense in certain aspects, whereas other ones, okay. But it wasn't the best movie to begin with, and I pray that this one goes out on DVD eventually, because not having this, because anything movie-wise is only going to be up for 30 days, I think, because that's what happened with Wonder Woman 1984. But it's like, it was only going to be up for 30 days before they would take it down. So certain movies will be taken down. I don't know with this one though, because it did say it was an Max original, HBO Max original. So fingers crossed that maybe it won't, because if it doesn't go on DVD, then we're gonna need this. Though I'm sure, like, if there's anything about the movie, anything about finishing it up, that's gonna be a Blu-ray version. And honestly, we don't have Blu-ray. We don't care about Blu-ray. We don't need Blu-ray. We just like to have it on DVD. Why can't they just give us like a 2-disc whatever for the regular people? Unless regular is now Blu-ray, which I disagree with. Anyway, so apparently the mother boxes were afraid of Superman's death cry. Yeah. This is my only critique with Snyder, and I doubt he's gonna watch this, so I'm not really worried about it, and it's not something that few possible employers are gonna get mad at me for. Snyder, mainly it was in the first half, maybe the first quarter, mainly like the first 2 to 3 parts. A lot of their background music was fine for most of the movie, especially the action scenes. However, there was a couple of parts, like I can accept the Aquaman scene where they're singing a song, and this is part of the original. The one that was in the theatrical cut, but it isn't. I think there was more on it, like more to it than that. And like I said, I don't know what was originally filmed that Zack Snyder did before they cut him from the movie, and why they cut him from the movie, I don't know either. But what scenes that he actually had before they cut him out and brought the other person in. So, because certain scenes are familiar, such as Batman trying to recruit Aquaman. The scene with the women singing when he tells Batman no and goes into the water to swim, like kind of like, dude, leave me alone kind of situation. I can get that, because it seems more like a cultural thing. But the scene with Lois, and it's one of the few scenes with Lois to begin with, like there's only like maybe 2 to 3 overall. I mean, that's fine. It wasn't about her until we got to a certain point in the movie, which I'll go over later. But the scene that she's walking the coffee shop, did we really need that music? It's almost like, Boba said this with, like, one of the first episodes of the second season of Batwoman, that's, like, kind of an explanation song, almost. It wasn't explanational, but it just felt that way to me. And it's like, did we really need that song there? We could have either had something else, or just, like, light music in the background, not floaty, good alien music, but just light music. Or just no music at all, and just regular sounds, because it's just like, it just did not feel right. And that was my main thing. That was my main real issue with the movie. It's not like I'm not gonna watch this ever again kind of issue, but it just didn't feel right. The next part we go to is in London with Wonder Woman. I am happy they kept the Wonder Woman music in there, and in other, further scenes in the movie. I thought that was seriously beyond measure awesome, and I can't, except for certain scenes, like the Batman meets Aquaman, Batman meets Barry, another scene that's coming later. I don't remember every little nook and cranny of the theatrical version's movie. I'm going to be looking at videos in a minute once I'm done making this and letting it upload. But yeah, that was an awesome scene, and I enjoyed that scene. It felt like superhero. And then we go to, and this is after some time, the Steppenwolf claiming the first box in Themyscira. Okay, this is honestly the only time I actually felt it was a non-music scene was unnecessary until we got to the end of that actual scene. Like that whole bit of when when the box was starting to wake up and Steppenwolf was coming to claim it. it felt so long. It felt so unneeded. So if they did something like this and shortened it in the theatrical cut, I don't know, but if they did, there's one scene. However, something Steppenwolf said later in the film is that Themyscira burned. Only a portion of Themyscira was taken down. The place that the box was held in, and those who were in it, and then those who were trying to stop Steppenwolf towards the end of that said scene area. And if all of Themyscira was gone, I don't believe which is true because later Hippolyta sends out that warning for Diana, but the fact that he was saying that to just throw her off, it's like, dude, don't over exaggerate. And if I'm being honest, the first part while they were in the actual building felt long, but I couldn't even look at the screen a few times during that whole part when they were trying to get it out of there, like across the island or something. I don't know what they were exactly their plan was, because I know Themyscira is big, but it's not that big. He could have easily gone to the other side of the island. That's somehow. So what were they going to do when they got outside the island unless they were going to go around in a circle? Mainly, it's like if the movie ended the way the final scene before the credits was then I feel like that all those sacrifices, every single moment for Amazons and horses was all for naught. And the thing is, I could barely look when they were with anything involving horses, and it's like, I know they're not real. I know it was like all CGI kind of situation, or like not real, so no animals obviously got hurt. But the fact of the matter is, it was probably the brutalest scene out of the whole film for me. Like, even more than Superman versus the Justice League scenes. So until the end, like that very end of the scenes, or in Themyscira, before they move over to a different scene, I felt it was unnecessary until we got to the very end. So, yeah, I get why it was long. But did we really need to have that much brutal violence? Then we move on to Diana giving Bruce a history lesson on Darkseid, which I enjoyed. And here comes the little first factoid that IMDb's trivia told me. Hold on, sorry, I switched to a different thing earlier. Come on, there we go. So apparently, during the battle scene against Darkseid versus the early defenders of the Earth in the first Age of Heroes, Zeus clearly seen defending the Earth. He bears a striking resemblance to Gerard Butler from Zack Snyder's first film with Warner Bros., which was 300. It's like, until I read that credit, it's like, I wouldn't have said 100%, but seeing that is like, because one of my history classes went through part of 300. We didn't watch the whole film. We weren't allowed to watch the whole film. Even though we were high schoolers, we weren't allowed to watch the whole film. We had to get a permission slip just to watch part of the film. No joke. So now I can delete that. So let's see where. I really enjoyed that scene, especially since we got to see the one Green Lantern, which it's a very early Green Lantern that has some history. However, it's like, that was the only Green Lantern we got to see. We saw a couple rings or some green, but except for that one lantern, we didn't really get to see anything, and that's fine. It sucks that we didn't get to see all the members of the Justice League. I mean, it was just the Green Lanterns. We really didn't get to have a member of this for this series. And the fact that HBO Max is going to be possibly doing something with the Green Lanterns in the future, though I'm not sure if it's part of the Arrow. I mean, slightly. It's not going to be connected fully to the Arrowverse one, but I don't think it's fully. I don't know if it's going to be fully connected to the DC-verse fandom. So I don't know. Another weird music choice, besides the lowest one, was the Flash scene. It was a great scene, but it was just a weird music choice. Again, so that's like my real critique. Like the long scene thing with Themyscira was justified, whereas the music, not so much. And then we get the Cyborg flashback, and I'm glad we got more Cyborg in this movie. My dad actually asked me, like, who is this chick he's looking up when he's listening to the scientific part of his dad's tape recorder, talking about the responsibilities and what he can do and then eventually saying, you really shouldn't do it even though you can. My dad didn't realize who he was talking about, and the flashback scene was his mom defending him to, I think, probably the college professor or whatever, or college faculty or whoever the guy was, about changing somebody's grave, because Victor Stone isn't just a football player. He actually is extremely intelligent. Both of his parents are doctors in in different fields, I'm guessing. And it's like, the fact that he did what he did, I don't think that was just like him thinking he's gonna do this. I think he actually did it. How long is it gonna take? I know this is stupid, but it's like, how long is it gonna take for them to see like that it was hacked and then think she did something and she's gonna be in so much trouble? It's not like, because it sounds like people aren't on her side outside of Victor and his mom. So it's like, how long do you think it's gonna? Do you realize that there would be repercussions with that? It wasn't shown, but it's like, I just feel like, as a social worker, it's like, there's gonna be repercussions. Heck, and I barely understand the hacking technology to begin with. I can't remember what this scene was, since I don't have a synopsis from the Zack Snyder cut just yet. But there was a Flash scene, I think it was, because I'm trying to remember what the first one was with the mirror music. If I'm correct, it's probably the Batman meets Flash scene. Let me look. I'm just trying to make sure I know where the heck I'm at. I believe that's it. Where Batman meets Flash. I believe that was pretty cool. That was one of the scenes still that, like, from the original, more or less. I almost thought about going back into Batman v Superman, and if I didn't kind of remember it in my head, the scene in there with the future Flash that's from this nightmare world, which I will talk about later. That's like why he's doing all this in the first place. Next was Aquaman going to undersea to his ancestor, great whatever grandfather, some statue. I read somewhere that because of, I don't know why, but unlike the Aquaman movie where they can talk underwater, this one did not have that capabilities, and so that's why it's like they needed the air bubbles to talk, and they used chirps and whatever, like dolphins, when they couldn't talk with an air bubble. So the Atlantis, or second last scene with Volko, which my dad had to ask me why is Green Goblin in this movie, because it's been a while since we've watched Aquaman. Yeah, it took us 4 years to get this. Next, I swear, it's like I'm trying to go through this as fast as possible. The Steppenwolf fights, I do appreciate Wonder Woman, and I think there was a Batman thing. You could definitely hear Wonder Woman's theme song, but I think there was a Batman theme they were switching to when it was Batman scenes. When they were where they were holding the hostage / future Paragon demon or parademons, located in Central City or Gotham or whatever. Let's see where we're going next. Okay. And then going straight into Aquaman showing up to help save the League's butts from being drowned was awesome. I enjoyed that one. That was probably one of the best scenes with him in it, or Momoa in it. And then we got the Dark Side holograph, sort of metal graph, whatever you want to call it, and appearance, as well as the confirmation of the anti-life equation. Now, I don't know if there was any of this in the original thing, and this goes back to the scene of Diana explaining the war with the early heroes. There's this red marking that Darkseid kind of hits. It just brings up the question of, like, how long has it been since you've been at Earth that you don't remember which planet the anti-life equation was on? Like, dude, there should be some sort of marking or, like, trace of it still remnant in the Earth. So I'm guessing either they weren't paying attention or it's been that long since Darkseid tried doing this. But that was just a scary, cool scene. I do know a little bit of the anti-life equation story, because I was watching stuff through Comic Story and Variant Comics, which is the best places I've seen to get the backstories for a lot of characters. It's like I'm still technically catching up, though it's been a long time since I did that. And then we go to another Lois scene. Like I said, I'm not going over every detail, so if you think, like, what the heck is she talking about, like, there was more in between that's because I'm only going over what my reactions were. Because I obviously wasn't going to be doing that while I was watching the movie. Duh. We finally got the Martian Manhunter, one of 2 scenes only, sadly, but I do enjoy that they brought him in. I did hear something about him possibly being in it maybe about less than a week ago. So by the weekend, if not earlier this week, I was hearing about it. So it's like I didn't say anything to my dad, and it's like I was just so happy because we didn't get Green Lanterns except for the one guy from the flashback, but we did get the Martian Manhunter, and I was very happy about that. So, and the person they cast, it was good. I mean, I'm so used to Supergirl's Martian Manhunter by now, so it's like I did enjoy this. And mind you, I'm one who grew up on Boomerang with the Super Friends, Cartoon Network with Batman the Animated Series, well, Warner Brothers, when it was Kids WB, before it became 4Kids, I guess I originally should say, but then they eventually went to Cartoon Network, if I'm being honest. The Batman the Animated Series first, then Superman the Animated Series, and then the Justice League 2. Justice League, I mean, not Justice League 2. So that, I definitely, it's like, it was nice to finally see him in theatrical movie, live action. Like I said, I do enjoy Supergirl, and I'm gonna be sad when they end. And then we get to see a possible future right before the team wakes up Superman, and this is when I thought we were gonna get the scene that ended up being at the very end, ended up being the legitimately last scene before the credits of the apocalyptic future, which apparently they're calling Nightmare, which I think is a version of Batman too. I don't know if it's just the death metal. I know there was one version, but if there was one before death metal. So it's like, I thought, that was my first thought of like, are we gonna get the scene I want to see? And we didn't. All we got was, and the thing is, I don't remember, I still gotta read into the Greek lore, and Roman lore too, but I didn't realize that Norse and Greek mythology both buried their dead the same way. Well, actually, I should say Greek mythology, Norse mythology, and supernatural hunters. Anywho, I just wrote WTH, so what the hell? Not because it wasn't the scene I was thinking, but it's like, what the heck? I think there might have been also an Aquaman scene there too, but I only remember really the Wonder Woman scene, so it's like, what the heck? And then next comes the Superman fight, which, like I said, is one of the scenes that I don't think they actually edited it. I don't think there was anything changed from that scene at all, from between the theatrical cut of when Superman wakes up in the sky to the very end when he leaves with Lois. I don't think they changed anything of that. So that might have been originally a Snyder scene, and it did say, the trivia did say that they only used 10% of it. So I'm sure that there were scenes that they decided, that were actually longer, maybe, that they cut in the theatrical cut. I don't know. And then we go to this little tidbit, more of like a thought process, because by this point, I asked my dad how much longer we got, and we were about to, like, within a few seconds, be at an hour, I believe, if not maybe 20 minutes after, 20 minutes less than an hour. And it's like, where is the scene that they decided to start using as part of their advertising for this movie in the last 2 weeks, with the posters and the scene, and they used in a trailer. It's like, what the heck? I was waiting for that scene. I've been itching for that scene. I wanted to watch the whole movie, but I was waiting for that scene. So that was just like when we had like maybe 40 to an hour left. Fast forward to when they are discussing their plans to, how they're gonna get rid of the mother boxes and stop all this before the apocalypse would happen. Literally. And I appreciated Barry's response to, like, what he's supposed to do. He says, like, stop them with love or stop them whatever. It's like, if you guys watch the CW Arrowverse, CW-verse, whatever you want to call it, they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline, and so there was a thing where certain superheroes were paragons, and the Flash in that one is the paragon love, which they actually just touched into this week's episode of The Flash. So the fact that it's like, not only did I get to hear about it again, for the show, but TV show, but now it's like, it almost feels like a little bit of a confirmation of, like, if they did, like, the Crisis on Infinite Earths completely, properly, that we would get that he would still be the paragon of love, and it was hilarious. And then next, don't worry, we're almost done. We got like 2 more sides of a paper. Thank you for listening for this whole time, because this is still version 2. The last one on this page is, I did enjoy the Batman Dark Knight version changing into a different version of the Batmobile. I thought it looked awesome. Because, like I said, he had I think it was in Batman vs. Superman as well, the Dark Knight version of the vehicle that Batman uses, which is this giant tank of a thing, changing it to something slimmer. I enjoyed that whole scene. Like I said, we only got like 9 little tidbits left. The bow to the base, getting to the base where Steppenwolf was and the mother boxes was pretty good. That's pretty much all I wrote, because it's like, it was an epic scene. All of this was the fight scenes were definitely all epic, except for the one at Themyscira, I guess, because that one just felt a little long, but like I said, it was justified. And then the battle against Steppenwolf round 2. So I am a talker. When we went to go, and I was having a bad week when we went to go see Marvel's, I believe it was Endgame. Yeah, it was Endgame. I had a bad day, and luckily enough, we had pre-planned a vacation thing, and before we were gonna go on like this 2-day vacation thing where we were gonna be back before Monday, or Tuesday. I don't know what day of the week I had class that day. My mom still says, do you still want to go see the movie? It's like, hell yeah, because it's like part of my language, but because I had that bad day, I just need something to bring me out of it. And we went on a weekday. We went on a day that there was not that many, and there was still quite a bit of people, but there wasn't that many people, and we had 2 kids behind us that actually were a lot better. They weren't as bad as the people next to us. And, like I said, I'm a talker. I'm a commenter. When it's a show I don't like, I developed this process because of The Big Bang Theory. It's a great show, but I have my vices with, or issues with it, for reasons. That I started listening to something because I always thought when you eat dinner as a family, you stay together, like, so. And because we didn't always watch everything that all three of us watched, all first or all second, like, and then they watch their stuff separately, which now we kind of do, where it's like if I have to go do something, or I still put in my headphones sometimes, but otherwise I make a tidbit about every 5 seconds. I do it when I'm excited, happy, and I do it when I'm annoyed, mad. And with Bang Bang Theory is when it kind of started, mainly. It probably started a lot before that, but that's when I kind of realized it. So I kind of was a little bit quiet. We barely were talking already to begin with. And these parents with their little girl, I don't know if they had two kids or if it was just the girl. And she's like under 5. That's fine. It's not like she was shrieking or anything, but and I like kids. I do like kids. I just like to work with older kids, hopefully in the future. And it's like, I know I look like I am one of those older kids, and it's like, I'm not. I love my condition. Anyway, I kind of like mumbled under my breath quietly, not even really to anybody, and it's not like I was shouting it at the top of my lungs, Professor Hulk, during one of the scenes of Endgame, when they brought him up in Endgame. And the woman's saying, like, excuse me, I know you're excited, but we are trying to watch the movie. Her kid kept going from the seat she actually was supposed to be sitting in, back and forth on her parents' seat, sitting on her parents' laps, over and over again, and that was 10 times more distracting. Yeah, we were towards the back-ish, but that still was distracting. And very rude. I didn't say anything, but it's just like, it made me appreciate that this was on HBO Max. Because it's like, there was a lot, not only would it have been really hard to watch that for almost 5 hours, it felt like, but it also would have been a lot harder for me to restrain my commentary, whereas we used speakers, so it's not like it was quiet where I was talking too loud, where the speakers kind of drowned me out outside of like maybe really loud stuff when we were watching it. It just makes me appreciate HBO Max right now. I know that probably doesn't look good for me, but it's like, I don't want to work with really young kids unless absolutely necessary. I want to work with junior high and older kids, hopefully in the future. That's my kind of goal. Because they're the ones, little kids, it's kind of where it starts sometimes, depending on what's happening, in the situation, but I feel like I can connect more that way. And I do like kids, like I said. Okay, we are at 33 minutes now, and I do apologize. Thank you for watching this. I'm not doing this again, just to cut down my time, and YouTube can get mad at me for all I want. I don't care. It's not like they're gonna promote my video. So, and that, like I said, we had the battle with Steppenwolf, so it's like, I kind of was like, between Cyborg and Flash, it's like, what the heck was taking so long until we got hit? Especially Cyborg. But then we finally get Superman joining the battle, and it's like, finally. It's like, what took you so long? Like, how long did it take him to get to wherever Alfred was, to the location? It shouldn't have taken that long. He flies he can fly fast enough that he can reverse time. Which brings me to Flash. I thought this was going to be where the scene was, but then I remembered, oh wait, he looked older. But I'm trying to kind of still figure out. I do know a bit of concept, especially after reading an article after the movie. What happened? He did go fast enough to be faster than the speed of light, which, if you saw a scene between Justice League versus Superman, it's like, Superman can move almost as fast, which it makes more sense. If you watch the old Superman series, you know what I'm talking about. Like the original 4, one of the original 4 pretty much says this too. But the Flash can go fast enough where he can reverse time, and sometimes even go back in time, which he does later in life. And it's like, for a split second, I thought we were either gonna say, see what happened, if that he went back and is like telling them this. And this is why there was that scene in Batman vs Superman. So it wasn't just the fact that Lois is the key. Apparently there's a quick scene, and we saw with this with the first scene when they're waking up Superman, that Lois dies and Superman turns. We will touch back on that later, but it's because if he wasn't there to, or if she didn't get to him, like, snap him out of his, like, quick amnesia, apparently, because he slowly was getting his memory back, I think. So maybe that's what took so long. By the time they showed the scene of him with talking with Lois, it's like it sounded like he almost pretty much had his memory back. But it's like, for a split second, this was the second time I thought, are we gonna get the scene I want to see? Maybe the third time I thought it. And it's like maybe that's gonna be a deleted scene or something like that. And it's like I was almost with. Pretty much it was between a mixture of that feeling and feeling bad that Barry might die. I thought Barry was gonna die. And going straight into, no, he did it. As well as the fact of, how did he survive? Because there's sometimes, the speed scooters can go fast enough and that they can stop what the crisis kind of things like this. The thing with Darkseid, but usually that means they end up sacrificing themselves. A speedster always sacrifices himself in that situation. So the fact that that didn't happen was kind of weird. The official look, not the metal graph, whatever you want to call it, look of Darkseid looked really awesome. And we were getting towards the end, where it's like they were kind of all doing their own thing. And it's like, okay, we're not getting this scene. Where's the scene? I thought we weren't going to get the scene. I don't know if it was a mid-credit scene or the final scene in the Batman vs Superman with Deathstroke and Lex Luthor. And it's like, okay, this is it. We're not going to get anything. Some of the lines were changed from theatrical to this version, which was fine. But that's because what this version was supposed to do, which I'll say at the end, wasn't the intention when they did the theatrical cut. And then we finally get the nightmare scene. So I am so happy because they kept advertising Jared Leto as the Joker within the last week, before the Snyder Cut was coming out, if not maybe in the last month, as advertisement. And it's like that they brought him back just enough time for this, because apparently they weren't going to be going with Jared Leto after this. Apparently after this movie now, I guess, because of the issues that the Suicide Squad movie had with him. And it's just whatever originally was. There's nothing new. I'm not saying there's anything new. So it's like, okay. And it's like, I was just so happy. It's like, I was so happy. And the fact that there was more to it. The only thing is that one thing that they said he said in the trailers was not in there. But it also kind of goes over some stuff. So apparently the Nightmare was a alternate world or alternate universe timeline of like if they didn't succeed, Wonder Woman, Aquaman would have died. Superman would have been controlled by the anti-life equation. And it's like, oh, thank you, thank gosh. That's like, they kept the scene in. And this is where I'm gonna go over. It's like, there's two things why there might not be. They're most likely, it's a 50-50 shot. Maybe 60-40, with 40 being possibly, yes. That, there will not be sequels. Originally, and I'm not the only one who's talked about this, Zack Snyder wanted to do a 3-movie thing and have the little single movies in between. I kind of don't remember why they changed from Zack Snyder to the person they went with. For whatever reason. If it was because of money or not, I really don't know. And because of also that they weren't going to continue on with this Snyder Cuts version, after that movie, with the exception of cameo kind of appearance or some scenes in the Flashpoint movie that we're going to be getting with Ezra Miller, who hopefully is out of the doghouse after everything that he did. He's still getting his movie. That outside of that movie, we are not going to be getting any more Ben Affleck unless something changes. Ben Affleck just doesn't want to do it anymore. I don't know if it has anything to do with because they switched directors or not, but like I said, outside of the Flashpoint, we are not getting him, and that would also make some continuity problems if Warner Bros. Decided to, hey, yeah, Zack, maybe we changed our minds, kind of thing. Now, they haven't done that yet, and Zack Snyder, it almost sounds like from one of the couple articles I had read, is okay with that. It almost seems like because they decided to cut him out, and then Warner Bros. Got flack about it from their fans, the people who actually care that they're trying to make these movies for, that are almost paying for these movies to get made, in a sense, with their movie, buying the DVD, Blu-ray, any marketing products, the tickets to go see the movie if they see it in theaters, that kind of thing. That they decided to say, hey, Zack, we're sorry, can you come back? Zack's, according to IMDb's trivia for this, one of the trivia notes on there for the Zack Snyder thing, to finish the film and to make sure it was everything the fans wanted, as well as what Zack Snyder originally intended. So I'm guessing a lot of that wasn't changed. A lot of that was what he wanted for the first movie originally, when it was supposed to be a 3-movie thing. Like that there would be a sequel that they do go up against Darkseid or whatever, and then the final battle movie where it's like they win in the end with casualties, obviously, but it's like, I think that was a lot of what Zack Snyder wanted originally. I don't know if, like I said, what wasn't that he just put in because he had to with it, but he refused to get paid to finish the film, so obviously the money went to everything else. I'm guessing actors included. And I have to thank Zack Snyder for that. Yes, I have my critique about the music, but I have to thank Zack Snyder for that, because it's like, he cares more about the fans than getting money for this. I'm sure that's like he wanted to do this for so long, because like I said, it's been 4 years since this came out, or since the theatrical version came out, and it's like, what Warner Brothers squandered, it just is sad. And I love Warner Brothers. It's like I care about the things they've made in the past, I care about the things they've been making in the present, but that was just such of a loss. Whether it was because of financial things, okay, but it's like, wouldn't you rather make a movie that you're gonna get more for than against? Yeah, it could take longer, and hell, with the pandemic, stuff is taking longer, even to TV, movie, anything, unless you make videos on your computer. That is like, and even then, it's like people need to live, so it's like you need some sort of payout for it. It's like the world's kind of stopped economically to an extent that's like, and is very limited on how they make things and how they're doing stuff, how the processing, making sure everybody's healthy. Hell, getting everybody to have a vaccine right now is important. I've gotten mine. My parents are hopefully going to be getting theirs by the summer, if not sooner. My grandmother got the first shot already. So hopefully now whoever can get it can come and see her more. I can't because of school and work. But yeah, screening for everything, everybody, like making sure nobody has it, because once somebody does have it, and still, I took a class too about the contact tracing, and it's like how little time it takes for something to be start being spreadable once it's in your system, and you don't realize it, is scary short. And how long you have to stay away from people just to make sure that you don't spread it for a certain amount of time. It's like, it's scary, and how fast it spreads. Like, you could, if it's one-on-one, it's less, but the fact that doesn't always happen. It's like 2, 3, 4, 5, a lot of 20, a lot more than just one. It's spraying just to one person. So it's just the fact of making sure everything's clean, hygienic, and everybody is healthy, and that there's certain distance in between people for that physically possible. Like Walking Dead is doing 6 episodes, 6 episodes extension before their final season, and the way the story is done, as of maybe the first one, I don't even think then, even the difference between that and the end of the first season, before I only had to do the last episode editing. Like, if you go back to the original final episode and compare it to the 6 episodes we're getting right now, which I'm enjoying, by the way, the difference on how many people are actually there, even walkers, is phenomenally different compared to what they usually do and what they're going to be doing with the final season. You can only have so many people on the floor. So many people, and some of the equipment that you use, you have to sometimes be close to people. How you portray a character, like if you have an argument between 2 characters and one gets in the other's face, you can't really do that right now. You can't have that happen without it being possibly a casualty if they aren't vaccinated or wearing a mask and shield, or at the very least. That's why I'm saying it's like, going forward is going to be tough for the media, is going to be tough for media-wise, but I'm just glad, like I said, I'm just glad we got this movie, and I'm glad, I wish Warner Brothers didn't throw away someone that they should have really reconsidered on. Like I said, I don't know what happened, if it was a money issue, what's going on, why they changed people, but I mean, was it worth it? So this is Allie signing off. If you watched till the very end, thank you. I wish I had a comment section, because I would say, like, what was your favorite scene in the comments if you watched till the very end of this video, and if not, okay. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can go through my videos soon. So if you guys want to watch my videos, every single video, I would do it now while you have the opportunity. Bye.